Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host, the delectable cryptid, Larry the Chupacabra, and we're back for some more indie first lookification, taking a look at the pre-alpha, or the sort of first edition alpha version of NIGHTHAW-X3000, which is it's another one of those games in the style of 80s retro everything, where it's got kind of like those, like a Tron-style background, synonymous of like the entire universe being just a part of one big digital grid, and some, you know, all those neon sort of pink to purple to blue colorations. And it's pretty good. It's fun. It's a bullet hell shooter that takes us roving through digital retro space, and it's done up by N94 Games, a couple of really cool Polish developers who got in contact with Larry, and I mean, you know they're cool, because only the coolest retro discotheque cats can get a hold of Larry's email. It's totally not out publicly for any old person to have on my About section, not at all. So we're gonna jump into a spaceship, piloted by what looks like Popeye the Sailor Man, if he was like a retro discotheque dancing sailor. And we've got this cool pink spaceship that shoots all kinds of crazy stuff, and we'll get a pretty decent idea of how this game works. So we start out with these really weird, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey bullets. They kind of like jam out to the beat. I'm not really sure what to make of these. They're wibbly-wobbly, like my stomach when I've been spinning around in circles for an hour, trying to come up with a cool thumbnail idea for a video, and they just kind of jam out to the beat. Like, I don't know, it kind of feels like we bought these lasers secondhand from, I don't know, maybe like a digital wizard who's good with the engineering stuff and making great mystical things happen with gears, circuitry, and old tube amp radios. It works, but it's definitely odd to aim, because it kind of just goes on in its own little adventure. Good thing we've got a secondary blue laser here. And the whole idea behind these lasers is it kind of is illustrating the eventual game mechanics in NIGHTHAW-X3000, which is gonna give you exactly what I've always wanted in so many bullet hell games that I've never really been able to find, which is they want you to be able to personalize, customize, upgrade, and modify your own retro laser discotheque spaceship and murder all of the sultry invader aliens. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely down to clown for me, and already, you know, this has all the iconic things that any good bullet hell shooter with like Raiden X type feels to it needs. You gotta have a lot of crazy spaceships. Some of them gotta go side to side, some of them gotta come at you like a crazed Doberman with a taser in its mouth. I mean, that's exactly what you need. And, you know, you've got crazy doom lasers that tear your ship to pieces, but something that a lot of bullet hell games didn't have is it gives you a shield. And while, those older bullet hell games like Raiden and all the, I can't even remember the name of the one that was like on PlayStation 2 and 3, but they give you a little bit more leeway. One shot, one death is just a little bit ridiculous in this day and age, and giving you a shield in this environment gives you just room to work with a lot more enemies that you would otherwise have to scale back, and you just can't get some crazy loopy combinations like you can in other situations. It's just, it's not the best. But this is good, I like that. Now, what are they gonna have going in this? It's hard to say. They've got all those delicious retro 80s feeling things to it. Tron, Knight Rider, that crazy purple-blue neon glow in the background, as if the entire universe is just a piece of some grand— oh crap, I made it to the boss. This is actually a first for me, and I exploded immediately. Fantastic. But they've got all the pieces here, so it makes me wonder about what kind of subtle, maybe inadvertent background story we have going on here. Maybe we've pissed off the Disco Mafia. Maybe, the Neon Ravers have a gang that's out to murder our faces, and we've pissed them off in downtown LA. Or maybe some city in Europe, like Amsterdam, or maybe somewhere in the UK. I'm not super familiar with cities around the Europe. But, it could be a lot of fun, and you really have to have some basic, really, crazy, wibbly fun with something like this. Just almost exactly like Kung Fury. I mean, I don't know if the developers have seen Kung Fury. If you haven't, I totally recommend it. Triceracop will love your attention, but you really have to really make fun of yourself and constantly try to break that fourth wall in something like this to really just make fun of the 80s, make fun of the retro appeal of the game, and not take yourself too seriously, and just have a good, goofy, ridiculous, outrageous, bombastic time with the gameplay, which I'm already starting to see. Like, this is a lot of fun, like, just right off the bat. So what do we need in a game like this? Well, if you're gonna give me the ability to mix and match my spaceship types, I gotta have, like, maybe not a super crazy number of alternative designs, but I want, like, a slow, clunky carrier ship that has, like, missiles, or I want the ability to have a charge-up death laser where, as I get so many disco beats into my system by shooting the enemy spaceships, I can just blast them with the Doom Ray, and that kind of, like, zigzags all over the place, jumping from one spaceship to the next. Stuff like that would be perfect. I mean, the style of this game is great. You got these cool, like, clouds that parallax over top of the environment. You can see, like, there's, like, a curvature to the environment. You can see the different enemies coming at you. It's good. And for that, you know, with, like, a variety of ships, you need a variety of crazy weapons. You need a variety, maybe not too many, but the occasional power-up would be perfect for a game like this. I mean, that's a staple of any bullet hell shooter, really. And then, you know, you really need a few kooky environments. We're in, like, a Tron, like, pink and blue universe, but we need to kind of, like, enter some of the different tropes of the 80s, some of the different characters' worlds. Like, what's one that I haven't seen? Quantum Leap is certainly one that comes to mind. You've got Buck Rogers. When was the original Battlestar Galactica? Some Cylons would be good. Like, obviously not like plain Jane Cylons, like crazy, like neon Cylons with like punk rocker, cyberpunk hair. Stuff like that would be perfect, but for what it is right now, this is a solid demo. It's not even 7 megabytes in size. It's open for any old person to download it at home and give it a play. It's got probably like 7 to 9 different types of enemies, bunches of different laser configurations to shoot you in the face and turn you into a smoldering pile of rubble. So we're good to go on all that, all those parts. I mean, it's a strong foundation. Larry is thoroughly enjoying himself. I played the beschnibbles out of this earlier today. It is some good stuff, I tell you what. And, that's not just a propane reference, that is a glowing affirmation of what we've got going on here. And, Nicodem, the guy who emailed me, just kind of popped me a message out of the blue with a bunch of other people. Who knew that it would be so absolutely delicious? I mean, this is one of those kinds of games you can just jump right into. And currently, my goal right now is we're gonna try and sneak in and murder, or at least shoot up, the end boss of this stage a second time before we leave here. Whoops, I am just taking all kinds of stupid damage on my shield right now. I don't know that I need too much else. You gotta get a variety of environments, a simple yet fun story. Doesn't even have to be a super in-depth story, just a simple kind of bombastic story would be perfect for this. Lots of variety of things, and you're golden, really. I mean, this is already pretty flippin' fun. Just shooting up stuff with these lasers. And at first when I played this, I was feeling like it was a bit fast. But now that I'm just kind of talking and not trying to pay attention too much to what's going on the screen, I'm just kind of using my peripheral vision to scope out the enemies and avoid crashing into stuff. And I dig it. You gotta watch out on the horizon, you gotta watch out to either side of you. This is a maddening game in its own right, and that's exactly what you need for this genre of game. I mean, and this game would probably be perfect even for some mobile platforms, though bullet hell games tend to have a bit of tricky time on those, unless you just let them grab their finger and drag it across the screen to control the ship. I've seen that happen. There's a game called Bullet Hell Infinite that I've played around with. Oh, here we go. We got lots of health. It's time to rickroll the old school boss. I think this is actually in reference to something. Oh no, this is great. Nope, you don't get to missile me, Timmy. Not today. Really? Fighting me with laser walls? You cheaty bastard. Now that's just rude. Wow, this is an evil boss. You really need, like, all your shielding for this mess. Alright, I gotcha. You can do this. It's fine. No, it's fine. We got this. I would love some, like, big missiles, though. That would super help out Larry. This is, not the bestest for him. Oh, come on, don't touch me with your missiles. That's rude. Who even does that? I don't like I like boysenberry pancakes, not boysenberry missile projectiles. Well, I almost got the boss. I was about halfway through. But no, this is cool. Nice job, N94 Games. And, who was it that did the music? It was Do Nothing Club, who, did the sweet soundtrack for this game. The soundtrack for the prototype, the alpha demo that you can check out. And, if this is a game that a lot of you folks at home would be interested in checking out and monitoring during its continued development, this fun, delicious alpha prototype, it's available for free, posted publicly on their fancy-pantsy Facebook page. So go on over, give them a look. It's fun, it's lasery, it's certainly, rage-inducing, as it should be. It's a good laser-driven time. Props to you guys. This was an unexpected, discovery when you emailed this to me this week. It's cool. It's fun. And with all the other sort of retro games coming out right now, it's right in the perfect time for this sort of, a game, a retro 80s inspired shooter. I've seen Power Drive 9000, which was a retro 80s sort of Knight Rider-esque racing game. We saw Kung Fury come out earlier this year. Man, it's perfect. I mean, there's no way you couldn't have fun with this. I mean, it's fun to make, fun to play. You just gotta have lots of those crazy, loopy jokes and references, and you're absolutely good to go. I mean, not too many where it's too cheesy, but I think you get my drift. You guys know what you're doing. You're awesome indie developers. What am I saying? So, I guess that's it for this one, guys. Check out the links in the description. Check out N94 Games Facebook page. Check out the Do Nothing Club's Facebook page for awesome music. And, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. Thanks for joining me, checking out NIGHTHAW-X3000. And, I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps me out a whole bunch. And have an awesome retro neon day, everybody.